gone for a minute, but we're back now, so everyone can sit back down, relax, and get fired up for another edition of Lancer Central, the show where we tell you what's going on in Longwood Athletics. We've got a great show featuring men's basketball pulling off some big wins in January, the reemergence of dominant veterans for women's basketball, and a conversation with Longwood's tennis coaches. Let's get right to it. Both men's and women's tennis began their season over the weekend, each playing Bluefield State in the Virginia Tech Invitational. Women's tennis has mostly the same group from the fall with the addition of Spanish freshman Julia Almiron. It's a very young group under second-year head coach Maria Lopez with 5 freshmen and 2 sophomores, no juniors or seniors. On the men's side, there's a little bit more experience with 4 returning players, which includes Amadeo Blasco, who ended the fall season ranked 122nd in the nation. Men's tennis has a new man at the helm and rookie head coach Jhonnatan Medina Alvarez. Now, these 2 Venezuelans not only share a home here at Longwood, but their stories intertwine from before Farmville. So we had both Coach Lopez and Coach Medina Alvarez in studio to talk about their paths coming up to Longwood and the rising programs. All right, joined now by women's tennis coach Maria Lopez and men's tennis coach Jhonnatan Medina Alvarez. Thank you guys for joining us here on Lancer Central today.
Thank you for having us here.
All right, so let's get right to it. Opened up the schedule this weekend, first weekend for each of you. Jhonnatan, we'll start with your team. How do you think things went, weekend number 1?
Well, I think for being my first time as a college coach, I think it's a lot of things for me to digest when it comes to how they should be playing and in the way that everything runs. I think the team we have a young team. We have 4 freshmen, and I think that with my background and with different type of training that I'm putting into, I think we're gonna get good results.
And Maria, you guys went 6-0 against Bluefield State. What did you learn about your team in the first weekend? Pretty young team for you.
Yeah, just like the men's team, I have 5 freshmen coming in and only 2 sophomores. So I was just excited to watch them compete, and it was good to see where they were. After we had maybe a little bit of a slower fall than what I'm used to seeing, and so it was really interesting to watch them compete. So we definitely have some work to do, but they competed really well, and the effort was high, so that I was very happy about.
Well, going to your backgrounds now, Maria, we'll start with you, but what was it like, what was your career before getting here to Longwood, playing career, coaching career?
So I played and coached for the same school before I came here. I did have a little bit of a break in between my playing experience and then coming as a coach. We both from Venezuela. I grew up there. I moved to the States about, when I was about 14, 15 years old. Things kind of changed there. So I was traveling a lot, playing a lot of international tournaments. And then from there, I made the decision of going to college. I played at Barry University in Miami. Had a great career as a player. An All-American in doubles a couple of times, an All-Conference player. I think all my 4 years. So definitely had a pretty successful playing career. And then, I never really thought I was going to be a college coach. But things kind of just turned. I started missing the game a lot and kind of started to see how I could give back to the sport, and just fell in love with, being able to teach the things that I learned or didn't learn, during my playing time to the kids. And so I was at Barry for 6 years before I was here. I was a volunteer for 2 and a full-time assistant coach the next 4 years. Won a couple national championships and I think 5 or 6 conference championships in a row. So I think I got accomplished a lot of things as an assistant coach and was just ready to take over my own program and build my own culture and bring that kind of success to Longwood. So.
And then Jhonnatan, for you.
Well, I didn't have the joy to go to actually and be part of the college scene, but I was a professional player. I was top 300 in the world, and I was able to play Davis Cup for my country for 8 years, and as well I was able to play Pan American Games twice. So for me, at the same time that Maria, my life went to the other direction. I always wanted to be a professional player, and I had a lot of support from my family and contracts as well. So I went that route, but now it's a totally different thing as a coach. I have my own academy for 7 years in Orlando, Florida, which was successful. And I'm always about conquering things. So this is the only thing that I felt that after talking to Coach Lopez for many, many years, she said, hey, just give it a try. So when the opportunity came in and Longwood, opened their arms to me, I didn't think it twice, so I'm happy to be here.
And you mentioned that you each have known each other for quite some time. How far do you guys go back?
25 years.
Yeah, 25.
It's a long, long time.
We went from competing. We come from different states, so competed against each other in some of those team events. To being part of the same academy when we moved to the States, and kind of spent a lot of time with each other practicing, and then obviously splitting up and both taking a different route in our careers, and obviously became remained really good friends. And we always definitely were talked about how exciting it would be to kind of just be together again and reunite. And I think we're both learning so much from each other, and not just from coaching experience, but we both took such different routes. So there's things that I don't know how to handle that he's gone through, and the other way around. So it's been great having him here.
Yeah, I cannot appreciate more than having her surround me. I mean, she's my mentor at this point when it comes to all the things that she's bringing to the table when it comes to collegiate. And for me, I made a promise 15 years ago to her that I was going to do something to her and with her, and the fact that I'm able to do it now in a place like this with amazing people surround us, I cannot be more excited and just happy that I can see her every morning when I wake up, and we can try to change the world like we always said. So it is a dream come true for me.
All right, well, I'm excited to follow both of your programs this season. Thanks again for joining us today.
Oh,
Thank
for
you so
having
much
us.
for your time.
Men's tennis wrapped up the 2016-2017 school year 14-6, 4-3 in the Big South, both of which were program records. Last year, women's tennis made it to the quarterfinals of the Big South tournament for the first time since the inaugural season in the Big South in 2013. Men's tennis takes on its first Division I opponent this weekend of February the 3rd, which a pair of matches at the Mary Washington Invitational. Well, men's basketball has already been on a roller coaster ride in 2018. The non-conference season and early part of conference season got off to rough starts, but since then the Lancers have played much better basketball. Now, it's no coincidence that Longwood has picked up 3 wins since Isaiah Walton and Chuck Glover returned from injury. Glover has been Longwood's point guard all season long, and the re-addition of the two has allowed BK Ash to move off the ball, and he put together 3 20-point games in January. Walton is 3rd in the Big South in scoring, and he has hit some big shots, including the game-winning 3 with under a minute to play at Liberty in the second of back-to-back wins. Now, the victory that got the Lancers into the winning column in Big South play was at home against Gardner-Webb on January the 6th, and the Lancers played at Gardner-Webb this past Saturday, but fell in a heartbreaker 60-57. Now, Longwood is back at home this weekend. The Lancers host Liberty on Saturday, February the 3rd at 2 o'clock as Longwood goes for the season sweep of the Flames. Women's basketball has leaned heavily on the play of Autumn Childress, who leads the Big South with 7 double-doubles this season. Now, unfortunately for her and Longwood, injuries have plagued the Lancers this season. Longwood has seen key contributors like Dana Rouse, Jada Russell, Childress, and Kyla Hall sidelined at different points this season. One of the constants throughout the year has been point guard Michaela Ellis, who along with Christina Antonenko is one of just 2 Lancers to start every game this season. But her resilience and toughness to be able to stay on the court pales in comparison to what Ellis and her family has had to deal with away from basketball.
Hi, I'm Michaela Ellis, and I'm a senior women's basketball player at Longwood University. I got started playing basketball just playing around in the backyard with my brother and my dad. And they were playing, like my brother's a little bit older than me, he's a year and a half older than me, so he was playing before me and I kind of just picked it up playing around with him. Division I basketball players usually only get like 3-4 days for Christmas. And I came home and they picked me up from the airport and they told me she had an appointment. And then later on they explained to me that she had breast cancer, and like initially I broke down obviously, but after she explained to me like what was going on and how serious it was, I got a better understanding. Feeling kind of like I was in the wrong place. Like honestly, I didn't want to be here. And I knew I had to be, and my mom, she kept reiterating that to me, that I had to be here and just like be strong for her and not, just like get depressed about it. And so she went through 2 surgeries, and then after they couldn't get the cancer out from those 2 surgeries, she went through chemotherapy. Initially she wasn't going to go through chemo, but after the chemo, She had 2 more surgeries after that, and then in July of 2016, she was in remission. She didn't miss a day of work like the entire time she was going through chemo, and like, I know it was difficult for her because one of her favorite things to do is come see me play basketball, and a lot of that time she wasn't able to because she was going through chemo. Basketball just helped me keep my mind off of a lot of things. Like, sometimes when you're just on the court, you just zone out. I mean, obviously there are thoughts here and there, especially when we play like the breast cancer game, you know, that's going through my mind the whole time. But just knowing that she's in good hands and that I'm just like having faith in God that everything will work itself out. I mean, it was just an amazing feeling. Just seeing her back in the stands, it was just great. I mean, I couldn't explain it. Sometimes people don't really think about the real meaning behind it. They just, you know, see the pretty pink jerseys and they like to play in those. But like there are real people out here that are fighting for their lives, and people that sometimes don't make it. Some people survive through this disease, but it's important, I feel like, to really focus on the message of fighting. It just shows like her strength and her fight throughout the whole journey. Like, she really wasn't very vocal about it. She didn't really share it with many people, and that's just kind of how she is. She's really strong and fights through things. Like, even if people don't know what she's going through, she's gonna keep pushing every day just like it's a normal day. So I don't know, it's just like, I guess it just represented fight for me. Just stay strong and just like keep going about your life, keep pushing, and just know that like better days are coming, and just live every day like it's your last, because you don't know when it could possibly be.
Michaela's mother, Liz, remains healthy and in remission, and Michaela, one of Longwood's 2 seniors and a third-year captain, continues to lead the team in assists, steals, and total points scored. Well, that's it for us this time on Lancers Central. To stay up to date, keep it locked to LongwoodLancers.com. Watch for Longwood Athletics on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and listen to our Minute Update, the Longwood Athletics Sports Flash, weekdays at 5:20 on WVHL Farmville 92.9 Kickin' Country. That's our show. Thank you for joining us on another edition of Lancer Central for Autumn, Christian, Justin, and our entire Lancer Central crew. I'm Darius Thigpen, thanking you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.